Salams and welcome. I'm continuing the series of finding solutions for South Africa. We've done the first 6, now we're under number 7, which is called Don't Quit. And this is in the series, in the whole brain series, that how can we use our brain to solve the problems not only in South Africa, but to solve the problems that we have as human beings in our personal lives. And many times it is that people are putting our brains in a cage and we need to break the chains around our brain. Please help me with my channel. As I mentioned, home invasion, spinal disability. I'm talking to you from my bed. I need you to press the subscribe button. Help me get 1,000 and 10,000. But the main thing of the series is how can we use our brain. So today the whole concept is about that we should not quit. The first example I would give that, you see, in South Africa, we've got a lot of resources under our feet. And we know that South Africa is a very wealthy nation, but the resources are not being used properly. So what we as South Africans should do, must decide how we can use these resources and try and tap the wealth under our feet. We have the Kalahari Desert, we have the Okavango, we have so many desert areas. And it's always important to remember that desert areas are usually where oil is found. Okay? Now we know that Saudi Arabia is one of the wealthiest nations in the world because of oil. They are fabulously wealthy. They've got trillions upon trillions of dollars. The companies that are owning those oil companies. But how did all of that start? Did oil just start gushing out of the desert sand one fine morning? There were some camels there and they kicked the sand like Zamzam water, and then oil started shooting. How did it actually start? Let me just give a very brief background. So we must use Saudi Arabia as an example for here in South Africa and how we can solve our problems. Saudi Aramco, the company called is Aramco, Aramco. Saudi Aramco, officially the Saudi Arabian Oil Group, or simply Aramco, is a state-owned petroleum and natural gas company that is a national oil company of Saudi Arabia. As of 2022, it is the second largest company in the world by revenue and is headquartered in Dhahran. It has repeatedly achieved the largest annual profits in global corporate history. Saudi Aramco has both the world's second largest proven crude oil reserves at more than 270 million barrels and the largest daily oil production of all oil producing companies. Wow. Saudi Aramco operates the world's largest single hydrocarbon network, the Master Gas System. Its oil production is more than 4 billion barrels, and it manages over 100 oil and gas fields in Saudi Arabia, including 300 trillion standard cubic feet of natural gas reserves. The reason I'm mentioning this, what about us in South Africa or in the African continent? Along the eastern province, Saudi Aramco most notably operates the Ghawar field, the world's largest offshore oil field, and the Safaniya field, the world's largest offshore oil field. How did all of this begin? This began at the time of World War I, 1915, 1917, before 1920, okay? Saudi Aramco's origins trace to the oil shortages of World War I and the exclusion of American companies. You see, American companies were excluded from Iraq. Imagine, today they've invaded Iraq, but after World War I, the American companies were excluded from Iraq by the United Kingdom and France under the San Remo Petroleum Agreement of 1920. So America was desperately needed oil. The biggest oil producer at that time was Iraq, but America was not allowed to go into Iraq. So America was looking for oil elsewhere, and it looked at Saudi Arabia. The U.S. administration is the Standard Oil Company of California, known as SoCal, S-O-C-A-L, was among those U.S. companies seeking new sources of oil from overseas. The Saudi Arabian government granted a concession to SoCal, the American company, in preference to a rival bid from the Iraq Petroleum Company. It took them after 4 years of fruitless exploration. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. Don't quit. When the American company came, they sent thousands of geologists. They started digging thousands of holes in the desert to look for oil. Okay, the scanning and computer technology wasn't so advanced at that stage. So the geologists were looking at geology and see where can we find oil. They were drilling thousands. 1 year went, nothing happened. The second year went, nothing happened. Third year went, nothing. By the fourth year, the American company said, there is no oil in Saudi Arabia. Let's get out of here. We are wasting our money in this place. There's no oil here. There's only oil in Iraq. So after spending millions of dollars, the American company decided to take out. So they started moving, they started emptying out Saudi Arabia. There was only one of the teams left behind, one geologist. He was a very tough person. He was like a Thomas Edison. He doesn't quit. He said, no, I will not quit. He started working on his own late at night. He said, no, there must be something here. He kept working, and he kept, despite everyone saying, you know what, this is over and done with, he kept trying. There's one person. I don't know his name. They don't mention it here, but I read an article where I heard his name. I don't have it for the moment. An American fellow, American geologist. And you know what? He found it. He found the oil when everyone else gave up. After 4 years of thousands and thousands of holes, this guy found it. So after 4 years of fruitless exploration, the first success came with the 7th drill site in Dhahran in 1938, a well referred to as Dammam number 7. It started producing 1,500 barrels of oil per day. They changed the company from California Arabian Standard Oil Company to the Arabian American Oil Company, or Aramco as we know it. I just want to read here quickly. So this principle that I'm talking about today, which is principle number 7 in Solutions for South Africa, tells you don't quit. We need to keep looking for more natural resources like gas, oil, gold, diamonds, platinum, coal, and so on. Our Karoo and Kalahari deserts are potential hotspots for oil or other natural wealth that can benefit all the citizens of this beautiful land, South Africa. The discovery of oil in Saudi Arabia was not found overnight nor by accident. It took hard effort, determination, and perseverance by the people at Aramco, and the indomitable spirit of one geologist who said, I never give up. The indomitable spirit says, I don't give up. Africa is one of the wealthiest continents on the face of the earth. We have thought-provoking contrasts. We got wealth under our feet and wealth above our feet. We got wealth beneath our feet and poverty above our feet. Not only in South Africa, but across the whole of Africa. So when we talk about South Africa, I have love for South Africa, but I have love for the African continent. I have love for all of Africa. We need to get the African continent sorted out. And South Africa needs to be the catalyst to get our problems sorted out, and let's sort out the rest of Africa as well. No one else can help us. We've got to do it on our own with our BRICS partners, Russia, China, the Arab partners, all of us, Brazil, all of us together. Russia, China, India, South Africa, Arab countries, and Brazil. And in the words of Horizon Sweat Martin, all who have accomplished great things have had a great aim, have fixed their gaze on a goal. You must have that goal which was high, on which one sometimes seemed impossible. Please remember to give me your comments, your thoughts, and subscribe. Stay well. Look after yourself.